Hey everybody, what's up? It is Chris, and today we are going to be talking about gold. So, as for me, gold is, everyone loves gold. Who doesn't love seeing gold accumulated somewhere, especially if it's yours? But my position on gold is I feel like it doesn't really move like silver. And so I've always strayed towards silver because I feel there's more price action there as far as being able to sell it in the future. Whereas gold, I see more as a store of value. So I know I've talked about this in my other videos. At one point, the gold to silver ratio, so 1 ounce of gold for, how many ounces of silver would it take to buy 1 ounce of gold, was somewhere around 110, between 110 and 120, meaning that 120 ounces of silver would get you 1 ounce of gold. So to give you an idea, these four right here are 1 ounce of gold. These four. So 120 ounces of silver, if you see 120 ounces of silver, it's going to be pretty big. It's going to take up most of this area, especially if it's in pieces versus like a one big 100-ounce bar. So it depends what you're looking for from your stacking. If you're looking for stable, easily world recognized metal, gold is the way to go. If you're looking for something that may move more in price, up and down, unfortunately, silver would be where you want to be. The thing is that with silver, you have to have a place to store it. So even a couple 100 ounces, I would say 100 ounces is a pretty good amount of silver to base your stack on. And so when you figure that 100 ounces of silver for this small pocket size, not even pocket size amount of gold, as a store of value, this may be where you want to be. But again, that being said, my preference is towards silver. And since the ratio was at, over 100, over 110, that would be the time that you would want to trade your silver for gold. Because if you look at now, it's closer to around 70 ounces of silver, between 70 and 80 ounces of silver to every ounce of gold. So if you are smart enough to do that, as the ratio moves, the ratio really doesn't move that large on a regular basis. So myself, I've traded a lot of my silver, not a lot, a couple 100 ounces, for more gold. And the gold that I do have in the larger rounds, I keep in tubes. Most of it's maples and eagles. But these are the fractional rounds that I keep. These are examples of the fractional rounds. So these are eagles, and these ones up here are maples. Some 10th ounce maples here, along with the Philharmonics that I just picked up. And this bar is one of the few that I have left of gold. I had a few PAMP bars and one Perth bar, actually. I'm kind of sad I sold the Perth bar. But also this little fractional wafer here is also a Valcambi bar, just like this one. It's part of a combi bar. But where I'm going with that is with gold, I really feel like gold's potential has not been realized yet as far as where it can go in dollar value. I feel like it's moved back into the 1900s, into the mid 1900s, somewhere around 1950 an ounce. And that's still a pretty good price, all things considered. So if you haven't gotten into finding your pieces that you want to buy with gold, now is still a really good time to be looking at that. The last few days, I actually checked out a local coin shop to see what they were selling. And what he was explaining to me is the way that he works is whatever people come in to sell usually is there for a few days, then it's gone. He doesn't really sit on too much for speculating on price. It's just very transactional, which is pretty interesting to me because I would think, like, of course you would want to, if prices are low, you'd want to hold on to a good amount and wait for prices to rise and then get rid of it at a good markup. And I'm sure he does do some of that. But he was selling gold at about 50 per ounce over spot. And that was not Eagles, but government minted bullion. So that was pretty interesting. I was like actually pretty intrigued. Now, obviously, if you buy at a coin shop or someplace like that, it's not going to be as pristine as buying these uncirculated items. So these are all uncirculated. Most of my stock is uncirculated stuff. I've never really been into buying from the coin shops, mainly because I don't know. There's something about being the first owner of these kind of things that's pretty nice. But that being said, it did bring into mind that, $50 per ounce for government minted silver, that's pretty competitive. That's actually probably better than the online bullion dealers. So if you're looking, to find some good deals, the coin shop may be the place to go. The problem with the online bullion dealers is first you have to pay usually for shipping under a certain amount. So if you're not buying, right now it's probably in the $200 or $300 range, which would be probably something like one of these. If you're buying something like that, you may not qualify for free shipping depending on the bullion dealer. So those are the things that you want to keep in mind. But that being said, again, your best long term is going to be stacking gold, because it's definitely a can't go wrong. So if you're buying silver and you're waiting for prices to increase so that you can switch to gold, that's a pretty smart strategy. I mean, you want to take something that fluctuates like that and switch it over for something that's more stable when you can. And again, ideally to your advantage, meaning that your silver's gone up in price, so it will buy you a higher amount of gold. If you can do those kind of things with your stack instead of just stacking and not really paying attention. I mean, there's a lot of people who do that. They just stack. They're not looking to trade. They're not looking to change anything. And that's okay too. I mean, again, if you're on the assumption that price is going to continually go up over time, or at least that it's going to hold value, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you think about, hey, I could be doing this a little smarter by changing from silver to gold every now and then, and it doesn't mean everything. It just means, maybe some. Maybe you sell your rounds, which are pretty generic, and buy yourself some gold. It doesn't matter how you do it, but as long as you're incorporating things like that into your stacking strategy, you can really help yourself out over the long term. Especially, like I said, in a time like now where silver's skyrocketed to almost $30 an ounce. Right now, again, it's still in the 27s to 28s on a pretty regular basis. But gold really hasn't had that kind of a meteoric rise. Over a few years it did. I mean, it went up from the 1200s up to now it's almost 2000. But I mean, in a short period of time, silver's obviously eclipsed that kind of a gain. So if you're sitting on a large amount of silver, you may want to start trading it up for gold. I do know that like some other channels like Stacking Stormtrooper, he was saying that, he got rid of a lot of silver to move it over to gold. Smart, because not only, again, over the long term, you're probably better off having gold, the ability to transport this versus transporting a huge stack of silver, much easier. Again, gold, super recognizable. No one's going to turn down gold, whereas I don't think they would turn down silver either, but for sure they're not going to turn down gold. So you're just giving yourself that much more of a shot at being successful, meeting your long-term goals if you're playing with the gold in a smart manner. Not playing with it, but if you are stacking in a smart manner. And the only thing, just like everything else, the only thing that you don't get back is time when you are doing these kind of things. Just like your investments, just like other things. People are always like, well, I'll do it later, or I'll address this or that. I've got more important things. Well, things change very quickly. If anything, this whole world situation should show we don't know what tomorrow holds. So when you see these types of opportunities, you really have to force yourself to get outside your comfort zone and act. How hard is it for you to go to your local coin shop, ask them, hey, I've got 100 ounces of silver. What can you do for me? in gold and just see what your options are. Who knows? You might come up on a deal. Maybe they want your silver. Maybe they're willing to sit on the silver till prices rise, where you could be coming up on gold. Don't discount those kind of things, because those are your opportunities in stocking. It's even more important than looking for a sale on, a website or things like that. This is how you make yourself into a smart stacker versus just stacking in general. So keep those things in mind. If you're not buying gold or trading up to gold with silver, I would definitely say that it's something you want to think about. Do your research, see what's what and what makes you happy to meet your goals. But everybody loves gold, and so you got to make sure that you're playing in the arena where everybody else is. All right, should be expecting a box in a few days. That's what the USPS keeps telling me. As soon as I get it, I will show you what I picked up. All right, see you next time.